Gypsy Rose Blanchard just cannot help herself. She commented on my last video where Ryan Anderson's brother left a comment on my video and wrote, "Why doesn't Patrick tell you how he and Ryan take more of that medication than they should and run out before they can get a refill, so they share that stuff? It's only sobriety when you're taking it like you should be. When you are, it's a whole other ball game." So this is in reference to Ryan Anderson's brother leaving this comment on one of my videos. Ryan's brother Pat has since posted several things to his stories and changed his profile picture to an actual picture of himself. Likely done this because there's a lot of people that don't believe this is actually Ryan's brother. Like Morgan Elena said here in the comments, Gypsy, why do you shame Ryan but not Ken when you yourself are allegedly an addict? You and Ken want Ryan to stop talking about you, but then you do stuff like this and you air out more of his business. Everybody found out Ryan was on Matt because of you, and now you're commenting things like this. And as someone who actually is on Matt themselves, here's the reality for people in recovery. Not everyone's recovery journey is the same. People don't just go get prescribed a Matt medication and miraculously they're cured and they no longer have substance issues and all of their triggers don't just dissipate. I'm not sure why you put medication in quotations, because that's what it is. It's prescribed by a doctor, and when you go to the doctor, they test your urine screen so they can see exactly how much of that medication you're taking. And most people who are in long-term recovery and on Matt, if and when they take more of their prescribed medication, they're not experiencing the euphoric feelings, or they're not getting like they would on their DOC. So in my opinion, taking more of your prescribed medication, because yes, it's a medication, is far better than relapsing and going back to your DOC. And relapse for some people is inevitable and part of that recovery journey. So the fact that you're trying to shame Ryan still because he decided to turn his life around and to get on a Matt medication is mind-blowing, especially considering we know that Ken has substance use issues and you yourself claim that you were once an addict. I really think this is Ryan's brother. He commented and said, "I'm Ryan's brother and also a decorated disabled vet from OIF. I was a mortuary affairs specialist. That's collecting and receiving of human remains on the battlefield. So for this little child to accuse me of anything is bonkers." So if you saw my YouTube community post on my main channel, you'll see that I made a post about this account, Ryan's brother, reaching out to me sometime last year. I forget the exact month, but I know that it was shortly after Gypsy and Ryan separated. This was when Gypsy was going all over the media, slandering his name, saying that he was abusive. That's where she told the story about how she locked herself in a bathroom because she was afraid Ryan was going to hit her. So he reaches out to me and basically wants to defend Ryan, okay? So he's telling me all this stuff about Gypsy and Ryan's separation, what exactly happened, and basically insinuating that the dissolving of Gypsy and Ryan's marriage solely had to do with Christy Blanchard. So we had a back and forth conversation, and he basically wanted me to put out this video with all the information that he was giving me. However, I wanted to verify and vet that he was actually Ryan's brother before I put out the information. And initially, he wanted to remain anonymous. So I wanted to be sure that it was actually Ryan's brother before I went and put out the information that he was telling me. So I basically asked if he had a Facebook account that he could respond to me on to prove that it was actually him, because Ryan's brother is on Facebook. So he told me he was, told me his Facebook account, and to go message it. So I did go message it, however, he never responded to me on it. And I don't remember the exact timeline, I'd have to go back and look at my messages, but shortly after, he stopped responding to me. So I don't end up putting out the video because I can't verify his identity. He told me during our message exchange that he told Ryan that he was talking to me. So at some point, I messaged Ryan to ask him if this is actually his brother. Ryan responds to me and tells me something along the lines of like, his brother doesn't speak for him. So I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do further. If he's not replying back to me in messages, I'm not going to put out the video without verifying with 100% certainty that it's actually Ryan's brother. Now, fast forward to yesterday, he commented on one of my TikTok videos and kind of made himself publicly known. There were a lot of people commenting on my TikTok video saying that they didn't believe that this was Ryan's brother because he wasn't following Ryan. But he is following Ryan. Ryan is one of the very first people he followed. And then you'll see that he follows me. He follows Nina. And then he follows some other accounts further up. I'm not going to show them all. But he does follow Ryan. I just think people weren't scrolling down far enough to see it. So I messaged him and I said, people don't believe that you're actually Ryan's brother. And then he went and uploaded this picture to his stories. And then changed his profile picture to this. Now, if you look at the background of this profile picture, that looks like Ryan's apartment because it looks like the same apartment from the Lifetime show that Gypsy and Ryan were in, and that is Ryan's brother. Now, obviously, I know that anyone can get pictures off the internet of other people. I just thought I would throw it out there that he did upload a profile picture. Now, I know that anyone can get on the internet and claim that they're anybody, but I will say that looking back on my conversations with him now, there was a lot of information in the messages that he sent me that we didn't know at the time that turned out to be true. This was before the second season of Gypsy's show was even out. So there were things that he told me that no one else knew that were in Gypsy's Lifetime show or were talked about on social media. A lot of the things that he told me came to fruition. So I am likely to believe that this is in fact Ryan's brother. But there's no way of really knowing with 100% certainty unless he posts a TikTok video or something. So just wanted to explain that a little further, and then I am thinking about making a video going over the messages between me and Ryan's brother. But like I said, a lot of the information that he was telling me we now know because it all came out eventually. So I just wanted to explain that a little further. I can possibly make a video of the messages. If people are interested in that, just let me know. I'm so glad you asked. So MAT, or M-A-T, stands for Medicated Assisted Treatment. I'm on MAT. MAT refers to the medications that people who struggle with substance use disorder or alcohol addiction take to help them while in recovery. These medications are things like methadone, Subutex, Suboxone. Already a huge stigma tied to being on MAT because people say, well, you're just trading one thing for the other, when that's not true at all. Medications help reduce cravings, stop withdrawals, and overall prevent overdose. These medications basically make your recovery journey manageable because someone who is in active use, their brain becomes altered while they're in that active use. When you choose to get sober and to get help, your brain has to heal and go back to normal. And a lot of the things that addicts battle on a daily basis, like triggers and cravings and things like that, are extremely hard to overcome. So that medication is there basically as an aid to help you while you're on that recovery journey. Some people may decide to stay on those MAT medications for the rest of their lives, while others decide that they don't want to be on them forever, so they will eventually taper off of them. But MAT has been scientifically proven to keep people in recovery for longer and to reduce the number of overdose deaths.